Long time no see, everybody. And look where we are. We're in a classroom. Woo. It's Goldfinch's classroom. So thank you very much, Mrs. Bose. I'm back with some more Odysseus. Now, if you remember from chapter 8, we're back up to date now. Odysseus has finished explaining all those horrible things that have happened to him to King Alcinous, who is his host at the moment. What will King Alcinous' reaction be in response to helping Odysseus or not? Let's find out. Chapter 9, Ithaca, which is the home of Odysseus, the island he's king of. Odysseus stood in the bronze-floored feasting hall of King Alcinous. He looked at the king, the princess, and the old blind storyteller. There was a long silence, broken at last by King Alcinous. Odysseus, you have suffered much in your wanderings across the broad face of the world, but now that you have reached my bronze-floored feasting hall, I swear that I will send a high-prowed ship to carry you safely back home to rocky Ithaca. And I swear by the mighty gods and goddesses that you will not return to your homeland empty-handed. The king ordered that great chests of gold and silver and rolls of purple cloth be fetched. They were carried down to the quayside where a ship was waiting. They were loaded onto the deck of the ship. Odysseus was led down to the quayside. As he walked across the gangplank towards the deck, he felt a hand tugging at his cloak. He turned and saw Princess Nausicaa. She's the young lady that found him on the shore. Odysseus, she said, it is to me above all others that you owe your life. You will not forget me, will you? Odysseus smiled. Princess, he said, if by the grace of the mighty gods and goddesses I set foot once again on the shores of my beloved Ithaca, I swear that I will remember you for as long as I draw breath. He stepped onto the deck and the sails were raised. The anchors were lifted, the wooden oars struck the waves, and the prow cut a path through the churning waves. Soon the wind was filling the sails like a swollen belly. The ship made its way out of the harbour and across the blue sea. Odysseus lay down on the deck and wrapped himself in his cloak. He closed his eyes and fell into the sweet oblivious balm of sleep. All that day he slept. The sun set and the sky darkened, and still he slept. The moon rose and set, the night brightened with countless stars, and still he was fast asleep. He was still sleeping when the ship reached the island of Ithaca. The sailors lifted him tenderly in their arms, and they waded ashore. They set him down gently on the shingle beach, with the chests of treasure beside him. Then they returned to their ship and sailed away. Just left him there. But nothing is hidden from the eyes of the mighty gods and goddesses. Owl-eyed Athena, the goddess of war and wisdom, was fond of Odysseus. He had been one of the bravest and shrewdest of the Greek warriors in the Trojan War. The wooden horse that had brought down the city walls had been his idea. What if one of the wretched suitors found him sleeping on the beach? His throat would be slit before he could even open his eyes. Surely he deserved better than that. With a gesture of her hand, the goddess covered the island with a white swirling mist. Then she strapped on her sandals of burnished gold, seized her spear, and flashed down out of the sky until she was standing just a short distance from where Odysseus was lying. The sun rose and shone through the white mist. The opaque light woke Odysseus. He sat up and rubbed his eyes. He looked about him. All he could see was mist. Where am I? What is this place? Where has my bitter destiny driven me to now? Then he saw, not far away, that there was the dim outline of a figure. Taking it for a shepherd or a fisherman, he said, Stranger, tell me where am I? What is this place? Athene answered him with the voice of a man. You must be a fool or a dolt if you don't know this place. This place is famous from Troy to the ocean streams, from the rising of the setting of the sun. This is the island of Ithaca. Odysseus peered into the mist, and Athena walked towards him, her grey eyes shining with light. She laughed. Noble Odysseus, you are home at last. She reached down and lifted the mist, as though she was lifting a curtain. Suddenly Odysseus saw Mount Neriton. He saw the beetling rocks, the hills, the terraced fields, the cliffs and the beaches of his native land, his own homeland. He threw himself down onto the ground and kissed the nourishing earth. Athena shook his shoulder. "Odysseus," she said, "there is no time to be wasted. First of all, we must hide these great chests of treasure." She helped him lift the chests and carry them to a cave. She caused a huge stone to roll in front of the cave entrance. "Odysseus," she said, "listen, the situation is this. You are home, but alone, unknown, under a strange sail, and there is danger waiting where there should be a welcome." Athena told Odysseus about the suitors who had invaded his feasting hall. She told him about Penelope's long, lonely wait and the weaving and unravelling of her loom. She told him how Telemachus had made a great journey to Sparta to visit red-haired Menelaus and beautiful Helen in search of news of his father, and she told him that the suitors were planning to murder Telemachus on his return. When she had finished speaking, Odysseus drew his dagger from his belt. "Goddess, if you would fight alongside me now as you fought alongside us Greeks when we brought down Troy's shining diadem of towers, I swear the floors of my hall would soon run red with blood." But Athena lifted her shining fingers and touched his lips. "Shh, Odysseus. I had thought you were becoming wise. This is no time for acts of daring folly." Odysseus shuddered at the sudden surge of bloodlust and 1,000 blood-soaked memories that it carried in its wake. He pushed the dagger back into its scabbard. Athena smiled fondly. "Odysseus, you must go as an old man now." She touched Odysseus' shoulder with her hand. As she touched him, his shoulder stooped. The hawk-like light went out of his eyes. His auburn curls whitened. His arms grew thin. His hands began to tremble. And he found that he was dressed in nothing but rags. So there now is Odysseus, disguised by Athena as an old man. "You must go as an old beggar now. Do not return to your feasting hall, but go rather to the hut of your faithful swineherd Eumaeus. Do not reveal yourself to him, but listen, and you will learn much." Odysseus nodded. Then he turned and hobbled up the hill with his back to the beach. Athena stood and watched him for a while. Then she turned on her heel, and swift as a thought, she flashed across the sea to Sparta. She made her way to the palace of red-haired Menelaus and beautiful Helen. She entered the bedchamber where Telemachus was lying fast asleep on a silver bed covered with purple blankets. She coughed discreetly. Telemachus woke with the little hairs on the back of his neck prickling. He knew he was in the presence of one of the mighty gods or goddesses. "Telemachus." He opened his eyes and gasped. Athena was standing shimmering beside his bed. "Telemachus, the time has come for you to go home. Your mother Penelope has been discovered by the suitors, unravelling the shroud on her loom by moonlight. She has been forced to finish it. Now she must choose a husband. You must go home, but be careful. The suitors are planning to murder you on your return. Do not go to your father's feasting hall. Go rather to the hut of your faithful swineherd Eumaeus." Suddenly the goddess was gone. Telemachus was filled with spirit and awe. Straightway he prepared for his journey home. So Athene is making those plans to reunite Odysseus and Telemachus in the hut of his faithful swineherd. So that's like a shepherd, but for cows instead of sheep. So I wonder if Athena's plan will come off. We'll find out in chapter 10, which is enticingly called Father and Son, but you're going to have to wait till the next time. I will read that again soon. Until then, stay safe, keep watching, and look after yourselves. Bye for now.